What's up, YouTube?
What's up, YouTube?
Welcome to another episode of Creativity
Unsheathed.
I'm Oliver Siegel.
And I'm Nino.
And yes, we are brothers.
Yes, sir.
And this is the show where we feel that...
You gotta make sure your markers don't dry out on you.
And speaking of markers drying up on you, we're looking at the graffiti art of Banksy. And Banksy is, that well-known to unknown artists out there, really pushing graffiti to another pedestal as far as not being known as trash or as, vandalism or whatnot. And it's like
it's more like a street art.
Yeah, and you feel like it's the walls are the city walls is a free exhibit.
Canvas,
for people who don't have to pay admission for.
Right.
It's like you can just look at it, admire it, and embrace it however you want.
Mm-hmm.
Doing graffiti takes a lot of guts to do. As far as that's a whole different level of putting yourself out there, right? Because you're dealing with the law and
you're
risking your life, not by climbing those high places and
freeways,
and
scaffolds,
right? And you and I living in San Francisco, and it's like admiring all the graffiti art and the history here, the history of graffiti within San Francisco. You really appreciate the work that they put in.
Right.
But most of all, like a question like, damn, how'd they get up there?
Yeah.
But it's like
really high places. Like, whoa, that's crazy.
There's been graffiti movies out there that we've watched. With the Wild Styles being one of them.
Vandalism. Oh, Vandals.
Yeah, Vandals.
That was a good one.
Right. And it's like graffiti crews against one another. Like doing pieces in each other's territories and who's better, or that whole ego trip. But those are the type of movies that were kind of really not really inspiring to do, but it's just to admire, just to see the art that they produce and
lettering.
Yeah, the lettering and
the character they draw with it.
Yeah, exactly. So
the colors.
Right, and then knowing that we do comics, and then seeing comic book characters that they incorporate in pieces. You would we've seen Magneto here in the city. We've seen the Hulk, the Sentinels, Spider-Man,
DC characters,
right?
All over, and it's just really cool to see that, like with spray paint, no less.
Mm-hmm.
That's really really great hand control. It's really good.
Right. It's like everything from clean line art. It's like
the various tips they use.
Mm-hmm. And it's like you do see the trash art that's the garbage type of graffiti art that's been put out there. Like it's where they are putting the bad name on graffiti, right. Which makes people think it's vandalism.
They write over the art.
Right. And it's like and it's like there's different ways of doing it now, of getting a permit and doing murals on certain buildings.
Right.
But of course, hardcore crews will think that you're selling out.
Pop it on, crack it open.
Yeah, let's get into it and just admire the work of Banksy. And from the publisher, the book contains the creative, artistic element of the graffiti art and is not meant to encourage or induce graffiti where it is illegal or inappropriate. So
there you go.
You can practice in your notebook.
Keep it on paper, but we are not promoting that you do graffiti. So, but hey, if you like to do graffiti, do it on paper. Get a permit.
Do some murals.
Right? Show your art, right? Put yourself out there. That's awesome. Yeah, I really like graffiti mags growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Get them at Tower Records. Sometimes liquor stores as well. And then you go home and try to draw these, right?
That's how I know that, the graffiti was, through those magazines that you bought. And maybe that's what made me love art, because it's just seeing the type of different various styles.
Look, tell me that's not San Francisco.
Oh, that is the Victorian building.
That's gotta be like Gate Street, right? Somewhere,
Oh,
right?
I mean, he was. I mean, well, yeah. Maybe he might have gone, come down to the city on tour or something.
Yeah.
He probably maybe went down to admire the art too. Probably heard about the San Francisco scene.
So maybe that's Banksy.
So the way Banksy goes about his style, or the way he goes about hitting up spots, is that he uses stencils. And what made him go that route, because on one night he was on the train tracks, I believe, trying to hit up doing a piece on the train, and then he heard security come by, and then he was hiding, but then like he just noticed to himself that he almost got caught. And so he wanted to shorten the time of throwing up the piece.
Mm-hmm.
So he made stencils so he can go different parts of town and really stand out, make it from everybody else, I guess,
yeah.
or while still doing graffiti,
right.
doing the art.
And it's pretty awesome.
Right? How funny is
I
that?
like this.
It's like, I wonder if it's just one spot, or like if it gets erased, he'll do it somewhere else.
Right.
Just because it's a stencil already.
Just reuse it somewhere else, right? I mean, it really is creative to put. It's like, I wonder if he goes to the places first, sees what spots he wants to hit up, thinks of the idea, and then he makes a stencil, goes back and applies it.
Right.
Like for that monkey, for example. Like this one. It's like pretty cool, right? Like
banana ball.
cool. Like, I'm gonna come back, but I'm gonna come back with this stencil.
Yeah, like what makes him come up? Yeah, I wonder what makes him come up with that idea.
Right, the process.
Yeah.
Right, that's pretty cool.
And like the way he uses his art. See it?
Pretty cool pieces. Pretty cool. Man, I wouldn't how would you start the stencils?
Mm. And so it says here, like, someone came in later and vandalized it by putting a beard on him, symbolizing Bin Laden. But then, of course, it gets removed 2 days later. Right.
Clever. Pretty clever.
I wonder how many of his pieces gets vandalized a lot, from other graffiti artists in town and within the city. Knowing it's a Banksy piece, like, okay, I'm gonna write over it or put my mark on it.
So I wonder, does he do it that night and then goes back the next day and takes pictures?
Or maybe,
Or somebody comes with them and takes pictures.
right. So it started all, so like a trail. Yeah, it's like pretty clever artistically of, doing the piece. It's like,
That's pretty cool.
I mean, it's obvious in all his pieces he uses cute animals and
Law enforcement.
authority.
Yeah, authority
figures. But it's like it's as if he has a social commentary on his worldview, and
between the line type thing,
Yeah.
messages.
right, and like letting those look at it for free and think about what they want to look at,
Right.
or how they want to go about the piece, You know, like
That's damn good.
that,
Is that even a stencil? Or is it just this?
I don't know.
That's pretty damn.
Like I've seen this photo on the web altered a lot. Like I've seen like Boba Fett and like a stormtrooper, I believe, like been used. And like in San Francisco, we've seen a mural by Glenn Bart Station. Under the freeway pass, it seems like there's always a message being written, like every other week, every other day.
Right.
But then when you go past it again, it's blacked out or painted over. But like I wonder if that's done on purpose by the graffiti artist, as if like he has quite like quote of the day or a thought of the day, and he just goes back and puts it up, like a Banksy style.
Oh yeah.
So, but like that's his designated area.
Right.
Like yeah.
He has like a permit for it, like.
Well, maybe he doesn't, but like maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. But it's just like I just wonder if that's the graffiti artist's way of expressing his thought or their
thought of the month every year.
Yeah.
Like people walking by, stop to read it,
Yeah, because it's right there by Bart, and people walk going home, or however about their day. And if they see that, and if they're willing to read it,
or like they're stuck in traffic, right? And the car's right there.
Oh yeah, and
got time to read it.
And those who live in the city and know that underpass know the traffic around.
Commuting times. That's pretty cool. So look at just like the color, using different colors. It actually makes it look like it gives the effect without using effect.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's the use of the stencil, right?
Mm-hmm. So it looks like it's glowing, but it's not. It's just the color.
Like really applying the element of graffiti, but like really quick, fast. I need to do it fast, in and out, boom.
Like it shouldn't take no more than like 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
But like, I wonder how long this would take if if we're and how big were the stencil. Maybe he folds it.
Oh yeah, fold it right and then bring it. And how many pieces?
I mean, Banksy states that graffiti is not the lowest form of art, and I honestly agree with you. Just seeing the quality of art that's been thrown up here in the city. This is really beautiful murals, and it's like if it's done right, it's something to really admire.
I love graffiti art, man. It's so cool.
It's something you may, as an artist, you may have something you have to lie to your parents about. But if you love the medium, it's like
different colors, shapes.
So suppose he was here in the city, and he did like these sections in the city, threw these up as a designated graffiti area, right? But then of course by the city, they over white out it.
See, like these are tags, right? But then this is graffiti art. You know what I mean? It's like that's what I really like more.
Throw up piece, right?
Yeah.
Compared to a oneer.
Yeah. And then added with like characters and stuff.
Yeah. I really like those in oneers because it's like handwriting cursive.
It's like you're showing off your penmanship.
Yeah.
On the streets.
But it's like I don't know, it just gets messy. It gets hard to read. And,
yeah. For sure.
And like you have one graffiti artist would have multiple names. It's like maybe you're trying to find your name. That's cool too. Trying to find your name. But I don't know. It's like I like throw up pieces better. Yikes.
Concealed trapdoors. Henna tattoos.
So I mean, his alias is really unknown, but I mean, I think that those who know him. But of course, those who are fan of his art don't know him.
For sure.
But I mean, there's theories out there that he's the lead singer of the British rock band
Massive Attack. That's pretty cool. Red spray paint on his hand. Brilliant.
Like I wonder if people actually dug it.
Right? It's like it's simple yet it's creative and it's fun.
But it's like that's
fun to look at.
I mean, maybe that's his like social commentary of greed. Like those are willing to do it.
Right, and searching for wealth and whatever.
Right.
Yeah. A love poem. Author unknown.
People are theorizing that it's Banksy. Goes by the name of Robert Donata, and who's also a founding member of like the Wild Bunch. And then he also like to have a like known alias as like 3D, Delge or D. And the reason like people are saying that he may be Banksy because he spent time in New York like in the early 80s and like took up graffiti, and then when he went back to the UK, in his hometown of I guess you want to say Bristol, he brought graffiti back with him and then started doing pieces all around town before going into the band of Massive Attack. But maybe in between songs or albums, maybe he was
doing pieces and stuff.
And people are also theorizing that Banksy is a 7-man team of other graffiti artists. Just going around town doing the same piece.
Right. So under one team.
Yeah. I mean, which kind of leads to him opening like his own theme park. Oh. Yeah, but it like only lasted 36 days. But he claims it to be like it's a theme park not for kids, because it was like more of like a dismal kind of type of theme park where you would see like the Grim Reaper,
like a psychedelic theme park.
Right. It's it's like with his art, but then of course other artists, graffiti artists, contributed to the park. But it only lasts like 36 days.
Oh wow! Cool to go to.
And it's like it had some nods to like Disneyland, and like again like that whole social commentary on things, on the outlook of
society
of a theme park.
Oh yeah.
Like the cash grab of character and IP.
Oh yeah. The merchandising.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I don't know, it's kind of like good not to know like so much about the artist. It's like it's like you have to be willing to separate the art from the artist sometimes. Like it's like with social media, everyone wants to know like who's this art that I'm buying off of.
Right.
It's like
I want to meet the person, right?
Yeah, it's like everyone does not know who Leonardo da Vinci is, but they're willing to buy his work. Yeah, there's a documentary, but do you really know him? No.
Yeah.
You're just buying because of the value.
Yeah, how much he's worth.
Right, and it's like, well, it's like just to make you feel cultured, right? Because you're buying all this fancy art.
Because people just made him popular now. Yeah.
And he had a clever,
right?
And it's like he had this. He has this thought that seems to be put into his work about. Politics it's already part of nature, and it's like, what agenda do you want to, push out?
Yeah, so it's like Kind of make like a comic strip on the streets.
Yeah, right.
Right, like with a message.
Mm-hmm.
Like, look, pay attention to this one. Look, I'm trying to say something here.
Right. It's like a critical thinking piece, you know? Not so much a nice landscape or a nice portrait piece.
Yeah. Or it's graffiti, you know what I mean? But it's, look at this. Pretty cool.
It's like, do you really know Van Gogh? And like the struggle, and it's like, yeah, you want to buy all his art.
The Screaming Man or the Screaming Face or something. Yeah.
Or Pablo Picasso's Blue Period, you know, it's like you want to buy those pieces, but like you don't know anything about the guy.
Yeah.
Until someone pointed out, or you're in auctions, all of a sudden you want to buy a piece.
Yeah.
Just because like everyone is in it for the thrill.
Or I have money to burn, so I'll just buy whatever is worth it. That's cool.
So see, with the New York, so it has to be Robert, right? The lead singer. I mean, if anything, if it's spending his time in New York.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, it's just like, the speculation theory, and like how, people are tying to him. And then maybe just finding another creative outlet in rock music, and it's like, take a break from graffiti, but I'll still draw in the book.
Yeah.
Right?
Or come up with ideas when I'm taking a break.
Yeah, right.
In between sets.
Because didn't Gerard Way do that? Like while on tour for My Chem, like he was still working on like My Umbrella Academy.
Yeah. Drawing the characters on the sketchbook. Like, ooh, it's like you get the first glimpse of what the future is like. Cool and new, right?
Yeah,
like
for real.
Shit.
And it's like, no, he wasn't writing yet, but he's like, he was drawing the characters, right? So like, he was in that writing process yet, but he was just thinking of characters.
And he said himself, it wouldn't be so hard now to come out with a comic book because it's popular now.
Okay, because of My Chem.
Nothing against that, but it's just like, he stuck with it.
Yeah.
He didn't throw it away.
Yeah. Like he found another outlet to help bring up his name.
Because that was his first love of comics.
And it's like kind of funny now, like you can't make money in comics, so you have to find another creative outlet.
Yeah, sure that you want to do.
So, I mean, sadly, you can't make a lot of money in comics, but if you know what you're doing, you can make it happen.
Yeah.
Shout out to Eric July.
Yeah, man, you gotta love what you're doing.
So it's really crazy what.
Like, wait, go back.
Yeah, it's really crazy.
Oh, that's cool. I thought it was a real.
So maybe kind of makes him made him double.
Damn, that's good, Banksy. That was good.
Probably made him do a double take as well.
That was good.
Always made me wonder, why is there like dead presidents on money? It's like, is that a mockery in some way?
If you guys want to pause and read this, go ahead and do so.
What?
What? Or what?
However, Tom Burr you want to go for.
Turn around. Oh, cool. I'm painting.
Broken window too. punk rock. Has to be. Maybe. Segregation of Palestine.
It almost kind of matches.
Oh yeah, for real. Bob Ross.
Nice. That's a tall. Oh, that's a good one.
Help me, nobody will let me home. I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here. See, again, back to him kind of being like finding member of Wild Style. What if it is Robert? Denada.
What's the crew called, huh?
Alright.
And I'm pretty sure the paint was animal safe.
Yeah. Because I think he did have an exhibit where, like one big warehouse, he had animals in there, but they're all painted with, paint safe, animal safe type material. So like of course no animals were harmed, but just the statement that he wanted to make.
Right.
How he treated zoos and
meat and all that cattle.
Yeah, just that commentary on that.
Oh yeah, not letting them be out in the nature, in the wild.
Not letting the food chain be what it, let it be. Bob Ross collaboration.
The crossover. It's almost like the movie Cabin in the Woods.
Oh yeah.
So you don't see it, but it's like it's there. Or they're watching you, like in the woods. It's all simulation.
Matrix.
It's the Matrix. They're listening to Judas Priest. Or REM, My Religion.
Or Kanye West, Jesus Walks.
Ave Maria.
Or REO Speedwagon.
Air Supply. Oh. This was the painting, right? Where he went in and he put it up himself. It says, become good at cheating, and you'll never need to become good at anything else.
I don't know how to take that in. I mean, there is that term, what artists steal.
Mm-hmm.
Great artists steal, and bad artists copy.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, maybe that's what he's trying to point at.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I guess however context you want to take it in.
Yeah.
It kind of explains like the comic book artists would copy other styles.
Okay.
I mean, then not necessarily to do house style, but more like I want to become the next best thing type deal.
Mm-hmm.
You know, kind of like Jim Lee copying
John Byrne and Neil Adams.
right, and then
Slowly put in his flavor.
of course, taking the details of Barry Winter Smith with the dynamic posing from Jack Kirby. Can't beat the feeling.
Can't beat the feeling. He told that joke twice.
It's not funny. Brandalism.
Dad's on the book.
Yeah, I mean, and then now everything is about brand nowadays, right? Brand this, brand that.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, in a way, you know, Banksy's not. I mean, people are making him as a brand, but with that no intent. You know, but in a way, he's become a brand. You know?
It's like they put his pieces up for auction.
Yeah.
And like I said, people make it as big as they want you to be.
Mm-hmm.
So they're willing to pay whatever price they want to put. But there's more to that, you know?
Yeah.
Because he wants to try to send a message. And that's the kicker. That's what he like. That's what he gets a kick out of. The thrill of it.
Yeah, like just seeing how people are just so willing to spend that much. Like really, like on street art, and let alone you said it's garbage or it's vandalism. You know?
It's cool. So that's still Banksy, you know?
Mm-hmm. What if Michelangelo did graffiti art in back in those days, or Van Gogh did the same thing.
Rocking a ponytail. Oh man. Or like long hair.
Right? Like, can you imagine like that happening in that time, Renaissance era? They're doing graffiti, but then with their easels and paintbrushes.
Man.
No spray paint, so how you gonna do it? But like they're doing.
They have small buckets of paint next to them, or they bring two colors. And you imagine how long it would take for them to do a piece.
But see, they did the ceiling
Sistine Chapel.
right? So that's graffiti right there.
Michelangelo's first piece. A big ass piece.
Makes you wonder if those are real birds that we see sometimes.
Right. They're onto us. Imagine having somebody like falling. It's like that's a hazard. And
This whole piece.
or just this, like someone falls back or slips. Yeah, it's hazard. It's cool.
I wonder how many times you've seen Jaws. was like, I don't know if I'll ever see my art having a message like Banksy would do. But, you know, seeing someone who's willing to put it out there like that, and then, you know, kind of just striking a thought into everybody else, you know, in their brain of maybe not the same thought of, or maybe just thinking more critically.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, as long as you have a good message behind it, I say don't be scared to put it out there.
Right.
You know, as long as you have like good intent and you express it right.
Right. Because, you know, like some people are just over push the boundary of, you know, having an agenda. But it's like, not trying to do that. It's like just having a thought about it, you know, like having a social comment, having a commentary on this that I've seen, you know. Like, you know, how Alan Moore did with the whole Watchmen, you know, deconstructing the superhero.
Right.
And then just not, I don't know, it's adding more politics to it. Like just being behind the scenes as a hero, working for the government and whatnot, right? And then the beliefs and as a hero and how you're gonna go about that.
Right. It's like, and then like they're pushing that on you to push out, you know, that message, because now you're that icon, that beacon of whatever message that they're trying to put out.
This is cool that he adds this here, and like he's not shying away of how he does it. So if everyone wants to do it themselves, but at your own risk.
Right. Press pause if you want to read it all.
Yeah, but you know, at your own risk. So if you're all about this life and this culture, it's all part of that creativity and that journey. So,
right. We're not promoting it, but you know, if this is your steez, then I hope you enjoyed this book. If you want to pause and look at this, but I'm going to keep going. Last couple pages. Read that one time.
People either love me or they hate me or they don't really care.
Damn, amen to that, right? That says a lot right there. One line. That's all you need, right? It's basically fucking do what you want. Like, you know, it's your life.
Right? You don't need validation from anybody.
Yeah, you don't need validation from nobody. You know, celebrate yourself.
So there was an auction for this back in 2015. No, I'm sorry, 2018. Yeah, there's an auction for this piece where he redid it and then had it reframed, but then within that frame it had a built-in shredder. So whoever bought it, like it shredded right away. But then it got relabeled as a new piece of love called "Love in the Gutter." Right? Or "Love in the Trash," or "Love in the Bin," something like that. And you know, that's just like his kick, like you said, like that's of him getting a kick out of people pricing what people would price for art, you know, let alone graffiti.
Right.
You know, it's like
that's like people are willing to put a price on something so captivating. Maybe like that's it's kind of weird, like how people price art, right?
Yeah. And it's like that. I don't know if that was real or how that one piece with the banana and duct tape.
Oh, with the
It's like how that became art. You know, like let me see what people would price for this.
Right, like a gag, right?
You know, it's like you're really making fun of art, or you know, are you just trying to see how people like just the normies, how you know, like want to perceive art, you know, and
it's true. It's kind of like mocking almost, like
and it's like I don't know, and let alone with people how they think of graffiti as trash, you know, irresponsible vandalism, but then yet, I like this girl with a balloon. And it's like, you know, it seems like anybody can do a stencil and do the same photo or image, but you would rather buy it, spend this much for that, you know? And it's like, and then there's also a video floating out on the internet that there was a vendor selling original stenciled Banksy pieces for very low prices of $60. People walked by it. People paid no mind. People didn't care. Like maybe out of all that bunch, maybe one person bought it. But just seeing the difference of auction house and a street vendor, and it's like where's the real value of art? Does it have to be in a museum? Does it have to be in an auction house for you to buy it or to appreciate it? And it's just like,
does it have to be in a gallery?
And like Banksy just had that commentary and like, why does that have to be? And that kind of just shows him going back or going into the museum himself and posting up his own work.
A good example is again going back to comic books, putting out for free, getting an audience, and then later on it's like people like actually pay for it.
Like webcomics. It's like, you put it out for free. Chuck Dixon, he has a comic book out there, a webcomic that he's putting out there free, and let alone it's Chuck Dixon, legendary pioneer in the comic book industry, writer at that, like putting out stuff for free, like. Why not?
You're trying to get readership.
Or maybe it was just
notice,
or coming full circle of buying his older stuff, right? And trade sales would help with that, with the residual checks. You know what I mean? But it's like here, his sister said like, you'll like threw away all like his sister threw all of his drawings, and he was like, where is it? Like, I don't know. What does it matter? It's like it's not gonna be hanging up in your museum or anything, right? So it's like that, like him and this action is like an answer to that. Like, I'll need the museum's validation to put my artwork. I can do it myself.
Right.
Like literally, he just did it himself. It's like not saying like it's like the ultimate graffiti throw up of all time. You know what I mean? It's like
on the grand, right?
Yeah, on the grand scale, it's like the graffiti artist in a fine art museum.
It's like the risk of all risks.
Yeah, so it's like to do stuff like that, it just really. It's like really kind of showing the spin of things on the creative front of how you can take something that's old, make it something new, but still make it look cool.
But dude, it does look like it works.
It would be part of it.
Like something's going on in the world right now.
Exactly. Like as if like this was like sad to reference, but like Vietnam or like.
It's kind of cool how in the back you have the even smaller piece. Where you lightly spray paints it to give that depth, the perspective.
I wonder how he did that. Like that's just
fucking cool.
It was like all spray hand control,
Yeah. How far?
Yeah. The distance, like really light.
Or it comes black and then you have the gray. So cool.
Yeah, man. That's Banksy.
Wall and Peace.
Wall and Peace for y'all. And I found this in our local bookstore, Green Apple.
Green Apple bookstore.
Yeah, it was in their bargain bin, so I wanted to save it. I was like, hey, Banksy. So it was a good, fair price. And if you have a good bookstore, and you're looking for some art books to get you inspired in some way, maybe Banksy is that guy for you. If not,
have him order it.
Yeah. And if you find whatever bin you find it in, give it a good home, find some inspiration through it. Yeah, that's Banksy, And again, if graffiti is your flavor, and not, and doing on paper is not enough, we don't condone it, but hey, you do it at your own risk. We don't condone graffiti,
We just love the art.
Yeah, we love to, just he's growing up and just being growing up in San Francisco, here in the city, it's like there's a lot of graffiti art by a lot of artists, and I'm not gonna front. I don't know a lot of them. I only know of Dream and Ty, and just because of the stories, behind how they died for their love of graffiti, and it's just something to honor and to respect of the game and love and of the craft of graffiti. Banksy may not be like a big known graffiti artist, but he's just an artist that's expressing his creativity on the level that some are scared of to do. They're having that fear just because of the message he has behind it all. So we'll end this episode with a motivational quote for y'all, and this is by Jeffrey Immelt, and he states, "All generations experience change. You cannot predict the future, so don't waste any time worried about it. The challenge you must accept right now is to make yourself better every day." And it's like that's pretty fitting as an artist in any medium, whether it be graffiti, comic book, movies, music,
writing.
Yeah, it's like to be a better artist, better human being, it just takes one day at a time. But yeah, to make that change, it takes steps, and it takes that courage within yourself, not needing validation from anybody, and pat yourself on the back, knowing that you've overcome obstacles.
You did the work. You put in the time.
Yeah, you put in that self-love, and I think that's more important, and and I feel that's more important, which leads to a message that you want to spread out. And Banksy is one of those artists where there's things that he perceives as the world as I don't know if you want to say unfair or just
what he sees.
Yeah. And everyone may not agree with what you've seen in those images or the images that he's put out, but it's just a critical. It's more of like a spark in the brain to help you think and process the world a little differently. Just look at it at a different perspective, a different angle, not always having tunnel vision and being narrow-minded.
Just make every day worth it to the present.
Oh yeah, honestly. Yeah.
There you go.
Until next time, y'all, and be good, stay good, and remember, stay creative, tell your story.
Peace.